Hello and welcome to the Vergecast, the flagship podcast of everyone you work with having a baby at the exact same time and going on parental leave. That is right, both David Pierce and Nilay Patel are at home with newborns. We are so happy for both of them. They're both going to take some time off, spend time with their families. They will be back later this year. And in the meantime, you've got me. I'm Jake Kastrenakis, executive editor of The Verge. I'm going to be joined by an all-star cast from across The Verge every week, starting with two of the best reporters in the business. We've got B Song.
Hello.
And Allison Johnson.
Hello.
We've got a lot to talk about today. There were some big executive shakeups at Apple, at Meta, at X. Grok went on a tear, called itself Mecha Hitler, I believe. Not good. I'm going to go on a little bit of a power trip now that Nilay's gone. I'm rebranding the lightning round.
This.
The lightning round is done as we know it. But first, we've got to talk about Samsung. Samsung was the big thing this week. They announced a whole bunch of new phones and smartwatches. The two of you were there. But first, I just want to, before we get into this, I want to read what Samsung said about Brooklyn in its press release. So they had their event in Brooklyn, and this is how they described Brooklyn, the borough in New York City. They called it, quote, a borough with extraordinary spirit and a distinctive history. Brooklyn is where visionary thinking and bold ideas shape the future. A place known for its culture, creativity, and collaboration. Did you guys get that feeling? Did you feel culture, creativity, and collaboration at Samsung's event?
No.
Not really. No, I mostly felt angry.
Angry, hot, irritated. Yeah. So it was like a gazillion degrees with bajillion humidity on Wednesday when we went to Unpacked. So if you are a New York City native and I tell you that this was hosted at a couple of warehouses in Brooklyn Navy Yard, you will be groaning at this point in time. But if you're not a New York native or you haven't been to this area of Brooklyn, is the most inaccessible area of Brooklyn by public transit. So there's just a line of Ubers trying to get in and very stressed out Uber drivers. Yeah. So, you know, that was something. And then
I live in Brooklyn. I do not know how to get to the Navy Yard.
It's like by design. You're not meant to know.
It's like a mile walk from any public transit station. So you either are going to make the choice of taking public transit to this event and having to walk a mile from the closest train station, or braving the New York City bus system, which I'm a lifelong New Yorker and no. Or you're going to take an Uber, and like the vast majority of people that I took an Uber, and I think the vast majority of people you were stuck in traffic
I was stuck
for
in Brooklyn trying to get to Brooklyn because they were doing road work outside my hotel. So I was in gridlock for the first. It was just a mess all around.
We were texting like, "Are you there yet? Are you there? Oh my God!" Like it was like
just getting more and more desperate.
Yeah.
So what even is this venue? Like what?
So Brooklyn Navy Yard is just a Navy Yard. It's like a bunch of industrial brick buildings, like shipping container type warehouse buildings, fully metal. So it was just, Samsung branded. There was a lot of Unpacked flags going in there, but it's also a maze. So you can go into the Brooklyn Navy Yard, probably have terrible signal, and just be like, oh, there's a bunch of just brick buildings with numbers attached to them, and you're just hoping the GPS is gonna get you to the right place. And I mean, there were signs and everything, and you just had to follow the Korean influencers. There was a huge amount of Korean influencers, and I really, and I was telling Allison this, because Samsung has a history of inviting K-pop stars, so I was like, I did my makeup. I was like, there's an off chance that a K-pop star is gonna come to this event. I love K-pop. We did not get K-pop stars. We got influencers that look like K-pop stars and the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack just blasting. And I was like, okay. I mean,
I've heard good things.
The soundtrack is fire. I love the soundtrack. It was great. That put me in a good mood. But then I was going into the main green. It's called Dougal Greenhouse. This main metal container thing that we're going into. And I have my hot box of water because they were being sustainable with the water bottles that they were providing for everyone there. My hot box of water It was not cold at all. But I was like, I need to hydrate. This is hot. This is humid. I'm not dressed like a Korean demon hunter, Grim Reaper situation. These influencers, I'm telling you, they were just like...
They went all out.
They went all out.
Wait, I'm sorry. The influencers were like in cosplay for a phone launch?
They were dressed to the nines.
No,
there was this one guy, I pointed him out to Allison. I was like, I'm happily married, but look at this man. He had perfectly coiffed hair. I'm fairly certain he had beautiful... I was like, this man has to be wearing some sort of makeup. They were not
sweating?
They were not sweating somehow, but they were like in full, like, kind of Grim Reaper regalia, like Korean Grim Reaper regalia. There was like this one girl and she had like huge heels on and just like this modern hanbok, which is like Korean traditional wear. And I was just like, we got some cosplayers.
I was like a sweaty
puddle. we were there going like, oh my god.
And so you guys did not dress up.
We did not.
We didn't wear our demon hunter costumes.
We didn't wear demon hunters at all.
I left mine at home.
Yeah.
Like
we were not aware. But then, we're going into the venue because tech event, you got to run to grab a seat. And so I'm trying to get in with my hot box of water. And the venue guy's like, ma'am, no water, no beverages, no food. And I was like, and then we get in and it's super packed full of influencers. They had their own line and their own badge, influencers. And then there's like the media section. And I don't know if you had this, Allison, but there was a guy, there's this guy, he didn't speak any English, but he's obviously Samsung staff. And he's just like, media section here. You can only sit here. And there were people inside with like little media paddles. And the one media paddle lady I talked to, she's like, if you find a seat, God bless, just take it. And so it was a little bit of a battle to get a seat. There were a bunch of people who didn't. So it was like super packed. It's a metal container, so the Wi-Fi wasn't working. And I was like, oh my God, how am I supposed to live block this with no. I gotta say, watching Allison though, she had the previous Z Fold, and she was blogging from the foldable phone.
Did quick posts to WordPress from the folding phone.
This is
inspiring. It was inspiring.
I feel like you broke a law of physics to accomplish this.
Probably
I was just
did.
like the entire time just looking at her doing it, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Samsung, you don't need this event. Just put a live stream on Allison. This is the best ad for a foldable phone you could possibly have.
I'd be happy to provide that service. It was I'm amazed that it worked.
It was inspiring.
Yeah. Like hotspotting our computers to the phones was not working for some reason. V couldn't even airdrop a photo from her.
I couldn't. I was trying to airdrop. I had two phones because I'm beta testing the iPhones right now. And so I had one with Apple Intelligence and one without. And I'm just like trying to airdrop from either phone to my laptop just a picture of Allison vlogging on this. It took 15 minutes. It was really bad.
I'm glad you discovered a use for folding phones at the folding phone event. This is like the big question. They friggin' look awesome. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with that inside screen. I just know I want it. Okay, so what did we see on the foldables front?
So we got 3 new foldables. We have the Z Fold 7, the Z Flip 7, and then the Z Flip 7 FE, which I continue to forget about. But the basics are Z Fold 7 got super thin. It is 8.9 millimeters thin. It's 26% thinner than the Z Fold 6. It's way lighter. You feel it when you pick it up. The Z Flip 7 got a bigger screen on the front. That's the clamshell style foldable. And the Z Flip 7 FE exists for $8.99. It's the affordable version.
We live in a world where that's affordable.
Exactly. That's my problem with it. So big hardware changes. The inner screen's like 8 inches now. Even more room to not know what to do with. But we lost in that process the S Pen support, which
is too thin, so that you can't stick it in.
Yeah, they've never had a good solution for it. They were supported the S Pen, but you had to buy a special S Pen because a regular S Pen would scratch the screen.
Oh my God!
And they've never had you could buy a case that would hold the S Pen, but it's not like the Ultra where you can just pop it in. So it's a little bit of and they're like, people weren't really using it. We could make the screen thinner if we didn't have that digitizer layer. So that's what they did. So a moment of silence for, the S Pen. But other than that, it's got a 200 megapixel camera. So it should be pretty capable. They got rid of it used to have on the inner screen, an under display selfie camera.
I actually think this is so interesting, right? They got rid of the under display camera, and now it's just a regular one, right?
It's just a regular little hole punch. And honestly, it seems backwards, but I notice it way less with the hole punch because that under display always had like a weird kind of like rainbow tearing thing that would happen when I would glance at something at that part of the screen. And it looks to me like the aura you get when you get a migraine or like so it like freaks me out. Like that's a me problem, but
this feels like a good change to me because I feel like for, I don't know, several years, companies discovered under display cameras, and this thing always happens where the tech is kind of bad, but it looks a little bit cooler, and so a bunch of companies run at it. And that felt like what was happening with under display cameras. And they were just universally like meaningfully worse.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just me. I don't think the hole punch cutout looks bad.
Yeah, I think we're used to it.
I would so much rather have a hole punch cutout and a good camera than like this cool, ever so slightly cooler thing.
Yeah.
Like it's in the corner. It's not going to cut.
I mean, it has to function first and foremost. Like I think if you're going to choose form over function, that's usually not the winning bet. It should be form and function. And if you have to only pick one, it should be function.
Yeah.
That's my spiel.
Yeah. I was glad to see the under display camera go.
Okay, this is the first time I've picked this thing up, and this is incredible. This thing is
so much nicer.
Wild.
And I do have to do a big caveat that like if you live in a different country that isn't the United States of America, you have access to folding phones that are roughly this size from like Honor and Oppo. So there's a little bit of the rest of the world being like, okay, you guys finally Samsung finally caught up for you.
Well, that's sort of only like a this year thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a major turn is happening in folding phones. It's sort of funny. Like when this event was coming up, I was like, oh yeah, they're doing another folding phone. What are we on? Like the Z Fold 3? And it's like, it is the seventh one. They've been doing these for coming up on a decade now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Which is crazy because they have like barely made a dent. And, Allison, you had a story, you kind of pointed out they really haven't changed much. And this year, and I think maybe even this model, feels like the first time they're kind of meaningfully changing. And it's not like a major form factor change. They really just slimmed down a little bit. But somehow this feels so different.
Much nicer in your hand. Like, because I've never had a folding phone, but I've been to these events all the time and I like play around with them. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel fragile. It just feels like a phone, which is cool. Though the whole thing, like, I don't know if you can see it there, like it won't sit because of that camera bump being so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
rough.
That's rough. But I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing because you put it face down then, and then you don't look at the screen.
It does encourage me to put it face down, and then I don't get caught up in my phone.
Yeah.
I think it was a year of Fold 4, 5, and 6 were kind of a snooze fest as far as like they added a few millimeters here and they did this to it. And basically the same on the flip phone. Like I think maybe the 4 got the bigger cover screen, but they still... so the clamshell style, this year got a full like edge to edge screen on the front cover. And previously it sort of like was this file folder shape that went around the cameras, which was just sort of weird and awkward. It's like Motorola gives us the whole screen. We're grown-ups. Like let us have it. So this did feel like a year where Samsung was like, okay, like here's the feedback we've been getting. We're gonna make these bigger moves. And obviously, like a lot of R&D and time goes into making a phone slim like that. I heard that the Galaxy S25 Edge really kind of like paved the way for this. Like it wouldn't exist without making slim bar phone first.
Did people like the Edge? I feel like the Edge was like despised.
Okay,
right? That was one with the curving sides?
No.
Oh, no, that's a thin one.
Yeah, the thin one.
Okay.
Yeah. That is it's the same case of this. You're like, is it really like, am I going to notice the weight difference? Is it really that slim? You see the specs on paper, you're like, what's the big deal? And then you pick it up and you're like, oh, I get it. This really
very
is different.
tactile because I'll admit to being one of the people that looks at those things and I'm just like, whatever, it's thin. Do we not remember exploding batteries? What are you doing?
Oh, Samsung remembers.
Samsung remembers exploding batteries. But then you hold it in your hand and you go like, oh,
yeah,
it's actually quite nice.
it is.
It feels kind of funny to say like, oh, you have to hold it or you have to see it, but I think you should.
I know.
I think you should. And
it is true. I'm saying that a lot this year, and it's irritating. So I apologize.
Well, that is like, I mean, there are probably a couple of things that are preventing people from adopting these, like the folding phones, at least this sort of fold out style. And one is definitely the size, right? Like this one is, I think, about as close as you can get to just a regular phone. I looked this up. This is what? It's not even a full millimeter thicker than the iPhone 16 Pro. It's like there's a very small difference.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a regular phone, which goes a really long way. But then I think there are like two other things that at least like for me, I don't quite get. And one is I love it. It's freaking cool. Like if I could trade my phone out for a foldable right now, no problem. But like I don't totally know what I would use it for. And then the other part of that is like the price. And this one, it is $2,000. Is that right? $2,000. Yeah, like that is the price of two other phones.
Yes.
Which it is. It is sort of two phones stapled together.
Budget.
Yeah.
Four if you're going budget.
Which you can do some crazy things if you just tape a few phones together.
4 Pixel
wild.
9As.
It's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to see two phones taped together and see if that would work as a foldable. But that's funny.
You might.
Are you finding it to be useful as a thing, as like a tablet? I mean, I can't believe you live blog in WordPress.
No, I was trying.
Oh
I was like, I was
God.
watching her do it, and I was like, should I try doing it on my phone? I could not do it just because like of all the like little.
I can't even log into WordPress on my phone.
It was pretty rough. I was trying to do like we have Okta, so I was trying to get the Okta code from one phone and putting it on the other phone, and I swear to God, I felt like this was the ad that Samsung should have. They should have just been zeroing in on me and Allison and just me being like, oh, what am I doing? My laptop and two phones aren't working. And Allison's just like, cool, calm and composed.
Right.
I'm watching her take a photo and then like she had Slack on one side and WordPress open on the other side and just checking things. And then like when she needed to write, like, I'm sorry if I was stalking you watching this, but I was just like mesmerized as, watching her do this. I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I've actually understood why I might want a foldable. Do I want a foldable phone? I don't know. Maybe could this be a work expense? Like, could we just have like foldable phones for live blogging? I was like, oh.
I approve that. You didn't get the memo. I decided we can all have a foldable phone.
Cool.
So that's
okay,
Jake,
great. That's
right?
what I think so. Let me just check with a couple of people really fast. Nilai's gone. Like, who's gonna stop us
no
now that I
rules.
think about
Jake.
that?
There are no rules.
No. Don't, if it's the responsibility's on me, then I have a problem. We do need to start expensing stuff before Nilai's back, though. That's what's important. This is really like, it is true. You see this one and you go, okay, like listen, the reasons we're all here is because we have a problem of looking at gadgets and going, but like this is the first foldable where I've really been like, that's a problem. That like, it looks great. Okay, that being said, like the foldables that I see out in public, 9 times out of 10, it is the clamshell style, which I feel a lot more popular than I don't know. I would imagine they would be.
I just think they're familiar, right? Because we all, well, maybe not all of us, there might be youngins who didn't have the flip phones from back in the day, but I feel like a certain nostalgia with the flip. Also, the flip is just really cute. Like you look at it in person, you're like, oh my God, that's so cute. And even with the Motorola phones, you just go, oh, cool. And then when it folds open, it's a form factor you're used to using. It's the same thing. Whereas with the fold open, like a tablet, I mean, I think tablets as a device, even I'm not sure what to do with my iPad half the time. So I think that's I think that's the quote unquote problem with the tablets. So if you watch K-dramas, there's always just a random person who shouldn't be able to afford a foldable just going like, oh, let me have my foldable and use it in this
Oh.
way, because Samsung runs Korea. So like they're just like, here we go, we're gonna put foldables in random K-dramas. And I whenever it pops up, I'm like, that's not believable, Samsung.
Yeah.
This is the poor girl being courted by the rich guy. How does she have a foldable phone?
Well, she
So-
could buy the FE flip phone,
I
which
love
is
that segue.
$8.99 instead of $10.99. No, the flip phones, I think you're right. It is a really familiar form factor. They are a little less expensive, like $1,000 is what a phone costs. So you're not making that leap to like, I'm buying two phones. And I think the use cases are a little more like immediate. Like you prop it up, you take a selfie with the main camera that doesn't suck, and like you get that immediately. And I love them. Like I run apps on the front. I'm like starting my little Strava cycling rides. I, check the bus schedule. I do all kinds of things on the flip phone.
Really quickly, I just want to ask, why do you hate the FE so much?
It's just, okay. I keep forgetting about it because this is a 2-phone event. We have a flip and a fold. But it's also like $8.99 is not that much cheaper, you know?
Yeah.
Is it just last year's phone? Like it's
like pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they maybe like rearrange some parts. But yeah, I'm like, okay, so you can buy last year's phone for $8.99. Motorola sells one for $6.99.
Yeah, that's
like,
rough.
Yeah.
Come
so rough.
on. Yeah.
Okay. So then they did the phones, then whole bunch of watches.
Yeah.
All right, what do we see from Samsung on the watches front?
So we saw the Galaxy Watch 8 series, which includes the base Galaxy Watch 8 and the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, and an extremely minorly updated Galaxy Watch Ultra. Basically, squircles are everywhere, huge redesign. And then Gemini is on the wrist now, thanks to Wear OS 6. And there's a bunch of new health features. I think the big marquee one that they played up a bit was a running coach. It's just a running coach. You take a 12-minute run test and it grades you and then creates an AI-generated program for you. And then the antioxidant index, which is their foray into nutrition and kind of telling you, are you eating healthily? You probably know the answer to that already. And then, there was a bit of a price bump. So the 8 got about $50 more expensive in the starting price. And the Classic, unfortunately, is about $100 more at $499. So the Ultra stayed the same, which is good news because it literally got a new color and a storage bump. So that's it. That's the Squircle Squad.
It's a total redesign, right?
Total redesign. So Samsung has always been known for these circular watches, which stand in complete contrast to the Apple Watches, which, I got it right here, right? So like the Apple Watch is squarish, and then we have this, which is
Confusing.
This
is what I would say. I'm looking at it and I don't know what shape I'm seeing.
You are seeing a squircle, my friend, because
they couldn't decide and they did both.
They couldn't decide. They did it both. This is the circle watch face on a square. What they're calling it is a cushion. It's a square cushion. And they have 3 reasons for that. 3 reasons. One is that it allows the watch to sit flatter on your wrist, so better contact with the sensor underneath. 2, it allows it to be thinner. So this is supposedly 11% thinner than last year's. And then 3, you can house a slightly bigger battery inside. And don't get too excited. It's like we're talking like 10 milliamp hour more, or like somewhere between 10 and 20 is what, because I was going through the spec sheet and looking, and I was like, oh, that's like an extra hour maybe of battery life that we're looking at. Nothing too special there. So yeah, squircles. I think, based on the comments that I've seen from people already, a lot of people hate it.
Okay, I watched your video yesterday and I was like convincing myself. I was trying to gear. I was like, you know what? Maybe I like this. Maybe this is cool. I was like, I'm going to come in and I'm going to be the positive one. And now I'm seeing it in person and I cannot do it. It is not.
That's not great, because I think this is the best looking of the Squircle watches because it's slightly, well, this one or the Classic, because on the Classic, they have the rotating bezel. So I love the rotating bezel. It is such a storied part of the Samsung watch design because it rotates and it's so satisfying. It's so clicky. And like when you think about going through menus, you're not touching the screen with your grubby finger oils, so it's actually quite nice. This is the base.
I will say the hardware looks really polished.
It does look really polished.
It's the design. I'm gonna
This
put
is
a
the
question mark.
sleekest.
Question
This
mark.
is the sleekest looking of them. And when I had all of them in person and I had like the comparison to the last 6 Classic and looking at them, I was like, okay, I don't know. I don't think it's Stockholm Syndrome because I had Allison try it on and she was like, yes, it does sit flatter and it is
does.
more comfortable. And I was like, okay, it's not so egregious, but I still think that the Ultra, which they basically took this design idea from the Ultra, it's uggo. It's uggo.
Yeah.
It's really
Like,
big.
It's really big. Like not this one, but like when I put the Ultra on, Owen, our video guy, was like, wow, you could drive a truck through those lug gaps. Cause like here you don't really see the lug gaps on my tiny little wrist, but on the Ultra, I think last year I tested and I could stick 3 chopsticks in the gaps. So like 6 total.
Yeah.
Too many
So
chopsticks.
it's too many chopsticks. It's a lot. I don't feel Stockholm Syndromed by this one. I think I could get to yeah.
That's it's I think it's confusing because you look at it and you're like, wow, that's a really well made confusing shape. It's it's like they did a great job. I just don't know what they did.
I think it looks best on this one because it still maintains like a thin, sleek look.
Mm-hmm.
On the Classic, it's just like I'm swayed by the rotating bezel. At least that's still there. And on the Ultra, I still can't grok the Ultra. Like I still can't. The blue color does make it look slightly better, but
the Ultra, there's no up. It's just like a processor bump. What's
not even a processor bump. This is what you get. It's blue.
It's blue
and double the storage.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's my main
weak.
concern on a watch.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can have more songs on there and apps, I guess. Double the storage. The Classic, the only hardware updates on the Classic is that it gets the Ultra's 3rd quick button, which is like a thing that you can use to launch an extra shortcut or something on that. And then all of the watches have a new lug system, which I know everybody loves. A new lug system for easier swapping.
It's always good when the lugs change.
Not always, because
Yes,
I do have a bunch of readers going, well, there goes the investment I had in all of these straps. And which is why I say be careful with how many straps you invest in and from where.
Yeah, don't fall in love with the strap.
Don't fall in love with the straps too much because a lot of times they will change these designs and the lug systems and then you're stuck with straps that can't be carried forward.
Okay, I want to ask you about something else. I saw that there is an antioxidant sensor.
Yeah.
And I every year, like a new sensor is added to smartwatches. And first I go, that's crazy. I didn't know we could measure that like on the skin. Antioxidants are on your like through. I didn't know that. The next thing I go is, I don't know what to do with that. Like, that sounds so cool, and I don't know what.
Okay. So, here's V's.
Are the runners psyched for this?
No. Here's V's runner, not runner, but here's V's health tech soapbox. So, is it very cool so they introduced this new bioactive sensor last year, which has a bunch of different colors of LEDs. Normally it's red, infrared, and green, but this one has stuff like purple, yellow, blue, and that's supposed to enable like new things. So the way the antioxidant thing works is that it uses a combination of a few of the sensors, I think like blue, yellow, maybe another one. And you actually have to take the watch off for this feature to work.
Pass already.
You have to take the watch off and you put your little thumb on it, and then it reads the carotenoid levels in your skin. And carotenoids are a type of pigment, basically, it's a type of antioxidant pigment in like beta carotene. It makes plants like orange. It's the thing in carrots that make them orange. It's the thing that makes bell peppers like red and yellow. And so when you eat, they get into your skin. If you have too much carrots, you might turn orange. So it's picking up the carotenoids in that. And, I'm there in this roundtable with the Samsung execs talking about it. And in my head, I'm going, okay, well, what if you eat berries? because berries don't have carotenoids in them, but they have antioxidants and they're very good for you. Is that going to show up in your thing? Because I went and I did the demo and it said I had very low antioxidants. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I had so many berries over the weekend. It's because there's no carotenoids or like very low levels of carotenoids in there. And because it's reading it from your skin, it could take as many as 2 weeks for it to actually show up. So fundamentally, what this thing is doing is saying, are you eating enough fruits and veggies? You already know the answer to
If they
that.
had advertised this as a carrot sensor, I would have been so much more excited. Like, let it be dumb, let it be silly, let it be unimportant. As of right now, all the smartwatches, they just keep adding sensors and then being like, we don't know what to do with them. Here they are.
Here's
and
more
this is
quantified data
if they had
for
just
you.
said carrot sensor, great. Like everyone would be like, cool. This it works as function. We first off, I need you to test this.
I will.
Need you to
I will be testing.
a lot of carrots.
Can you test it on a carrot? Would it?
Oh my god!
I will.
What will happen?
I'll try.
Okay,
we'll see what
you.
happens. I'll just smush a carrot into the sensor. That's
Fool
a thing I'm gonna do. But yeah. So my main beef with this is that we all generally know that you should eat more fruits and vegetables, and so all this is telling you is whether or not you're eating fruits and vegetables to an adequate amount. And I think we all deeply know in our hearts whether we are. So, I mean, they were saying that fevers or drinking alcoholic drinks could cause your score to lower. Well, you know that fevers and alcoholic drinks are, going to maybe cause your data to dip. Wow, thanks.
Yeah.
I think some people might enjoy it and find it useful, but I'm sort of like, duh.
Squircles, antioxidants. I'm gonna say confusing year for the smartwatch lineup.
Gemini's on there.
They have
Gemini's on there, which I still think will confuse people because it's replacing Google Assistant on the watches. And now you have generative AI on your watch. What are you gonna do with generative AI on your watch? Samsung is very focused on diets, basically, because the examples they were giving me were start a run for exactly the number of calories in a slice of pizza. And I was like, that's diabolical.
Why? Does it have access to your health data?
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah, this is
theoretically, yes. So
it could. It could.
Yeah, from what I can tell, the Gemini aspect of it is that it can handle more complex queries that might require multiple apps in a sequential order. So you can say something like, find the coolest coffee shop near here and message the location to Allison. And it'll do that directly from the wrist, provided that you are logged into all the relevant apps. Because in the demo space, I was trying it away from the people who had the guardrail demos where it would be guaranteed to work. And I was like, hey, there's a little one with Gemini. Let me see if it works. And it was like, well, you're going to have to log into YouTube Music to make this playlist. And I was like, oh, okay. So you have to log into a bunch of stuff.
That reminds me of what Apple's Craig Federighi said. He was talking to Joanna Stern from the Wall Street Journal, and she asked him about OpenAI buying I.O., which is Johnny Ive's new hardware startup. And, they're working on some sort of AI device. And Joanna's like, well, what do you got? And Craig says, hey, I think we have a really personal device already. And he's like, pointing to the Apple Watch. And so there is something there, right? Where Apple is sort of pointing to actually the trajectory for AI is a wearable. And Samsung is, big asterisk, but maybe getting there first.
Sort of.
Yes.
Sort of getting there first. Yeah. I've gotten a few demos. So I got a demo with Google earlier this week as well and I was just like, give me ideas for what, and I would love if our listeners also had ideas to send me, because it's such a fundamental difference in thinking. Writing AI prompts, you're kind of teaching your brain to have a different language, and putting it on the wrist when your muscle memory is so strong to just I need to look up a thing. Let me just grab my phone. So now you're teaching yourself a different muscle memory. You're like, I'm not going to grab my phone. I'll just ask it on my watch. When would I do that versus just pulling out my phone, which is faster? And so I think that's going to be an interesting tension to kind of work with while I review it. But I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just going to say I think I don't know personally how it's going to work for me yet, and what part of the generative features will be most useful. So we'll see.
Do you talk to AI or do you like to type more?
I like to type. So like my
Yeah,
thing is
same.
like, and it's different for different people. I know low and blind vision people really value the voice aspect of it. But for me, I don't want people hearing
I know.
my stupid questions.
embarrassing.
I have some very stupid
I
questions.
don't even want to hear it myself. I would rather just keep it quiet.
Yeah, and like the thing about Gemini that they're saying is that it's natural language, but then now I have to undo my muscle memory of how I talk to Assistant. Because when you
Yeah,
talk to
that's
Assistant,
real.
it's like, hey, and I'm not going to say the wake word
Mhm.
because we've had enough of our listeners say, you said the wake word. So like, hey, AI Assistant, send message, and then you have to dictate it.
Yeah.
So like, I think one of the things that you're supposed to be able to do is like, be like, oh, I'm late. Can you send a message to this person telling them I'm going to be late and make the tone polite or apologetic? And that's
Right.
a thing that you can do. And it'll just write the message for you and you don't have to dictate it. And I'm like, cool. But I'm kind of used to dictating it. So it's really, I think people are just going to have to be open to changing their muscle like memory. And then changing muscle memory is really difficult to do. So I think that's the big challenge with Gemini and the rest.
That's real. Okay, there's one other Samsung thing that was like around the event, but not, I believe it was not at the event, which is there was a big leak that they're having a trifold foldable. And they didn't say
No.
anything about this?
No,
Not a
and
thing.
I was ready for it
She
because
was.
they've done.
This is what I want to see.
They've done
Yeah.
kind of a one more thing, but I guess that was at the January Unpack because they did it for the Ring, they did it for the Edge.
It's
I
true,
was
'cause
like
they were
poised.
wrapping up, and Allison just has her thing up, and she goes like, "I don't believe you," is what she said.
I know. I was like, you can't fool me, TM. But yeah, they fooled me.
Okay.
There was no.
So
trifold.
there's more to come in Samsung foldables, potentially even this year, it sounds like.
Yeah. It sounds like they told some Korean press, I think, that they have it ready. They're just like hanging on to it for a minute or
Yeah.
something like that.
That's fair enough. It would be extremely Samsung to be like, here's one high-end foldable, here's another that like embarrasses it. But so it's nice. It's nice for them to take a little break. All right, we should go to break. When we get back, we're talking about Apple, Meta, X, unfortunately, Mecha Hitler. We'll be back.
AI is moving fast. So fast, it's hard to keep up. In fact, in ServiceNow's latest AI Maturity Index, scores dipped 20% from last year. But that's okay, because AI isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. You may be behind today, but tomorrow you could be a pace setter. Dive into ServiceNow's AI Maturity Index and see how you can innovate as fast as your ambitions. Visit servicenow.com/AI maturity.
All right, we're back. There were a bunch of really big executive changes this week at Apple, at Meta, at X. Grok went absolutely off the rails. Lots to talk about. I want to start with Apple, where their COO, Jeff Williams, announced plans to retire. This is really interesting because Jeff Williams was, I guess until Tuesday, one of the leading people who was seen as a possible Tim Cook successor if it came to that, right? And I think this is happening in like the most Apple way possible, right? It's a long, slow thing.
I mean, does Apple do anything quickly? I don't think so. They're very intentional about everything, right? So, yeah, no, but Jeff Williams, he's always in those like big presentations at the iPhone event. Like, he's one of those, he's maybe not Craig Federighi, where he has his own hair meme at this point, where you go to Dub and they're referencing his hair in the filmed parts, but he's pretty well known if you're into Apple. So that's a big one. Yeah.
And I think like as COO is one of those, I think, quieter but actually mission critical positions at Apple. Like Apple is, in many ways, it is a supply chain company, right? Like Tim Cook was the COO before he was CEO. And I think he has, in many ways, reshaped Apple around that role, right?
Yeah.
Every single product is, how do we make sure there are exactly 3 versions and we are optimizing the parts and we are using what came last? And, it makes sense that they would have seen Jeff as the possible next guy. And I think like the going, speculation from what I've seen is that perhaps Jeff Williams is a little too old, right? He was 62. Tim Cook is 64. And so if Tim Cook is going to step down at some point, I mean, I don't know. He could Berkshire Hathaway this and stick around like Warren Buffett until he's like in his 90s, which if you're a shareholder.
I mean, Tim Cook is secretly swole. Like,
is he really?
There, if you look up the Slate article from the past, it's an investigation into how swole Tim Cook is. He's very swole. He famously exercises a lot.
Oh my God.
A lot of the Apple Watch stuff and the health stuff is because Tim Cook is super into that stuff. So I don't know. He doesn't look like he's aged.
Do we know his workout regimen?
I think he wakes up at 4 a.m. and works out. I don't know the exact of it, but if you look real close and zoom, he's very modest in his attire. But if you zoom in on those biceps, I am a believer that Tim Cook is swole. So he could be good for a while.
He's good for
I
he's
think
sticking
he's good
around
for a while.
Yeah,
he's a healthy dude.
How swole was Jeff Williams?
Honestly.
No Slate articles?
No Slate articles investigating Jeff
Unknown
Williams'
level of swoleness.
Yeah, no, that is one of my favorite articles, though, is Tim Cook swole. I come back to it every once in a while just because the beat I'm on, and also because when I see him every year, I'm zooming in with my eyes and just going yeah, no, I think he's swole. I think he's real swole.
Okay, so I guess now we know why Jeff was passed over. I mean, you right. This is what one assumes. If you don't retire, if they're like, hey, you might be CEO soon, right?
Yeah.
To be clear, it's not like there is a rumor that Tim Cook's retirement is imminent, but he's been doing it since 2012.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, long run. And I think Apple, because they move so carefully, surely they're planning this in the background. So their new guy, they're bringing in Sabi Khan, who Cook called one of the central architects of Apple's supply chain. They're clearly trying to be nothing's changing. We're all good. Everything is safe. It's in safe hands.
Right.
He's this guy again he joined Apple in 1995.
Jesus.
So right, this is still a Jobs era guy who they're bringing in.
I mean, supply chain stuff is really important right now with the ever looming tariff situation going on, and I don't know. I think you have Apple fans who are kind of split into romanticizing the Jobs era and the vision of it all, the Jobs and Joni Ive vision of it all. And then you have other people who are like, nah, Tim Cook's a guy who gets it done. And he's a guy who knows supply chains and that stuff's boring, but that's what makes money. So I think having Sabi Khan there, it just feels stable at a time where supply chain is a thing that we think about and something that investors are super invested in is having a stable supply chain. So I think that is a signal there too.
The Trump and tariff stuff feels like part of this too, right? They're actually, this thing has been running very smoothly for a very long time. And now Trump is saying, hey, tariffs on everything. And so Apple is scrambling to move things around. Supply chain is actually more important than ever. There's a lot of work to do. If you're Jeff Williams, maybe this is a good time. Maybe this is a good time. But,
it's like a cat and mouse game, right? Because they're like, tariff on new country, and Apple's like, haha, we moved to this other country, and then they'll go, aha, tariff on that country, and Apple's like, aha, we'll move to this other country, or that's what it seems like it's been happening. They'll find a way, and so they need a supply chain guy to know what country to move the factory to. So
they love a supply chain guy.
They love a supply chain guy.
Okay, they do love a supply chain guy, which I think is interesting because the going rumors of who might succeed Cook again. Some years out, whenever this happens, I believe it's Mark Gurman at Bloomberg says that John Turnus, who's their hardware guy, is the leading contender right now, which is very interesting, right? That feels to me like there's potentially a very different shift in a world where he is leading it, because Tim Cook, at least my read on it is that he is not a product guy in the way that Jobs was, and probably not a product guy in the way that Turnus is.
Yeah. And arguably that's what Apple needs too, because we're at a point where, I think I was talking about this with Todd, our reviews WD editor, where the iPhone is 17 years old? There are people who can vote and fight for our country who don't remember a world without iPhones. So it's not a new product or technology anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, with the AI hype, everybody's looking to what's next. Maybe you want a hardware guy in there
Yeah.
who can really shape what the next vision of that's going to be. So maybe if you think about vision versus maintenance, maybe it's like a thought process with Turnus is going back from maintenance to vision again and doing the stuff that made Apple splashy to begin with. Who knows? I'm not a business forecaster. I don't have like a crystal ball, but I think that's maybe something that Turnus has.
Yeah.
behind
And
him.
didn't they change like the design team now reports directly to Tim Cook too?
Yeah.
So I don't know if those things are related, but it would make it kind of sense to have like
I don't know. Like Tim Cook is also surprisingly into sneakers. So like,
Tim
I
Cook is a hype beast. Is this where
He-
we're
Oh
headed?
my
He's
gosh.
he had,
swole.
like,
He's a hype
swole,
beast.
and he had
Oh
like
my
these
God.
custom designer like sneakers a couple of conferences back, and like it was in the hype beast article about how he had these like special, I believe it was Nikes, and so on the face of it, Tim Cook kind of has his uniform. You wouldn't
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
peg him as like the design guy, but he's into sneakers and he's swole.
Maybe
So-
maybe they're making some sneakers.
Maybe there's multitudes to Cook that we haven't.
Tim
like-
Cook is gonna retire from Apple, take over Supreme,
Yeah.
and have a whole
line.
second career after
I
this.
love it.
I believe it. You're hearing it now. Tim
You
Cook
have to
is
do a
gonna be-
hard pivot. Yeah.
He's just gonna be on the board of Gentle Monster, which is that sunglass company from Korea with like the really interesting silhouettes. He's gonna be a fashion icon.
I would love this.
I
would
love
love
this.
this.
I really want Cook is the driest executive like in public, and if steps out and is like, I'm gonna live a different life now.
I think
Fine.
there's like a
Yeah.
quiet
He's earned it.
fire to Tim Cook. This
Yeah.
is my fan fiction.
Quiet fire. My gosh.
So the next big piece of corporate change up happened last week while we were off, which is that Mark Zuckerberg finally announced his big AI superintelligence group. It is a super group of AI researchers, which I think sounds cool when you put it that way.
Does it? It also could
Yeah,
sound like
yeah.
the AI Avengers, but
It is. It's the AI of he should have.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
the
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
Avengers.
The AI
And
Avengers.
famously, when the Avengers created AI, it went well, right?
Oh, that's not
Did it?
totally the plot
know.
of Ultron. That's not, famed, beloved, critically acclaimed Avengers movie Ultron that everyone loved.
I didn't
But
know
they
that.
didn't. They hate that movie.
I didn't know that was a movie.
You know what? That's the correct take.
It's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
They made yeah. This is weird. This is a little wild. Like Zuck is sort of just like power tripping here. And first, he paid $14 billion to buy half of Scale AI, which is mostly, it appears, that he can hire their CEO, Alexander Wang. Wang is becoming Meta's chief AI officer.
Sure.
And then he's just paying out hundreds of millions of dollars to individual researchers. He's just going around to every AI lab, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and giving people these incredible offers that just like boggle the mind that you would pay somebody this much to convince them to come over, which tells you two things. Number one, it's hard to convince people to come work at Meta, right?
Yeah,
Like that is,
yeah.
Hayden Field, our AI reporter, just ran a story where she talked to some people who got some of these offers. And the thing they told her was, yeah, we care about the mission, which is why we're staying at, the ones who turn this down don't want to go to Meta and have to do whatever they want us to do.
Oh boy.
Oh.
They're going to get paid okay anywhere. But Zuck is just spending boatloads of cash to build this, huge team of super capable researchers, right? He's got the former CEO of GitHub. He's got a co-founder and the former CEO of Safe Superintelligence. He got people from Anthropic, from Sesame. It's all over the place. And these dollar figures are mind-boggling. And what's really interesting is like, okay, I get it. So you now have one of the most capable AI leadership teams in the world. The idea is you will go and build some sort of fancy AI thing, superintelligence, whatever you want to call it, with that. But there is sort of a question, right? Like the technology exists, or much of it does. People are building it. Is it these specific people, or like do you just buy the people and therefore you get the good AI?
I mean, that's obviously what his strategy is. He's just throwing money around. He's just like, I've got money, come work for me, do the thing. And I think he's getting grifted on some level because I no hate to any of these people getting these, $300 million over 4-year packages. Like, get the bag. I love that for you. This is your time. But at the same time, you look at that cost and it's just like, are you getting your money's worth? How much did you spend on that metaverse gambit, bud?
I mean, this is what I'm thinking about, right? Where it's like, okay, let's think about the last time Zuck sort of like went ham and spent a ton of money on some initiative that we're like, I don't know if it's going to work out for you. It is the metaverse.
Yeah. There's still no legs in the metaverse. So where did all that money go?
Didn't they announce the legs?
They announced the legs, but did the legs ever come?
The legs never shipped.
Can I tell you something?
Shipped.
Nobody signed on to check.
There could be legs.
Like, that's, he made the wrong, but also it's not even that he made the wrong bet at the wrong time. Like that, I feel like you could have easily foreseen that when talking about the metaverse. It's that he put in a boatload of money and it was bad.
Yeah.
And like, they're kind of doing that with Llama already. And this feels like, number one, it's funny. They've for months been talking up Llama, how great it is. There was that scandal a few months back where they ran a special like optimized version of Llama to like game some tests.
Oh, yeah.
Right. If you've used Meta AI,
which I have,
how is it, V?
Not great. I mean, on the one hand, so I mostly use Meta AI through the glasses when I'm testing new features or whatnot. My favorite thing about it is that I can make it sound like John Cena.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, but that's my favorite thing about it. Yeah, so like I've tried the live AI, which has its pros and cons. I think the multimodal thing is really smart, but the live translations, for example, that was not. I tried. Sorry, Allison, I have to talk about Amelia Perez again.
Oh, that's my favorite.
I tried months back just like seeing like, could I use this to translate content that I'm watching? So I put on a clip of one of the terrible songs in Amelia Perez, and it got some of it, and then others bits. It was just it was John Cena just saying very wrong things about the Spanish. So yeah, in my experience, not great.
It sort of feels like there's a moment coming. I don't know if it's like the chips are down or it's like, what's the game where you have to get a chair? You have to like...
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs. It's like musical chairs and everybody's like, okay, it's about time to figure out this AI stuff.
Yeah.
Like Apple, they're like, can we build it or should we just buy a company? And there's a little bit of that going on. And Zuck is like, I'm buying all these chairs. I'm covering all my bases.
So I spent all the stuff on the metaverse, and apparently that's not what people want. So I didn't spend everything on AI. So money, here you go. So that's what this feels like.
There you go.
Thinking about the Ray-Bans is really interesting too, because they're right now it's this very simple product, and we're like, hey, these are nice headphones. And they are really bullish on actually their AI glasses.
Oh yeah,
and is it right? Like in fact, they have to build the AI.
They do, in fact, have to build the AI. So, there are communities that really do love the Meta glasses and the AI in them. Spoiler alert, that's what my next host episode on Tuesday is going to be about. But, by and large, most people are not really thinking of it in that way, but I do every single time I write them as smart glasses. I've got a good relationship with the PR people at Meta, but they're like, would you be open to calling it AI glasses? And it's like, no, they're smart glasses. But so to like the reason I tell that story is to say that like they are super bullish on glasses being a vehicle for AI. They really believe that glasses are like what are going to get people thinking about AI. And, Google's kind of jumped on that train too with Android XR. So they still got to build the AI first. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
it is not a bet in a vacuum. It's like so easy to think of it that way. I think particularly because like OpenAI, like it exists as a website. Like it is a bot on its own. That's it. And Meta is trying to productize it.
Yeah.
And the product is okay. And the AI is not okay. Yeah. This is going to be, I think, just one of the clear, like, give this a couple years, obviously, but it is going to be a fascinating experiment to see if you can just buy your way to a great product. Because I cannot remember, obviously people will just buy companies. I mean, it's funny, actually. A lot of the big company acquisitions do not work.
No, they
There
don't.
is a culture clash. Right. I'm thinking of like Google buying Motorola, which like, and then selling it a few years later. Right. So this is sort of a version of that. He is just buying what he thinks is all the best people, and who by all accounts are supposed to be incredibly talented researchers. Can you buy your way to the best product? We're going to find out, and it's going to be really interesting to see. And if it does not pay off, like, yeah.
At least this is a better bet, I think, than the metaverse.
Yes, I think that is
Yeah.
that is fair, right? Like there is a product to be had here that people want. That some people want.
That some people
The question is, can they build something? Llama is aggressively fine.
I think that's the
Llama-
best way to describe it, because I've been using a bunch of them, and is it the best one? No. Is it the worst one? Also, no.
Yeah.
It's safely fine.
Yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of AI that is not the best,
Oh God. Oh, boy.
the other big change this week happened at X, where there was also some Grok news to discuss. So, X CEO Linda Yaccarino announced this week that she was stepping down. Elon replied with a I'm going to say terse tweet saying, "Thanks for your contributions."
Who could have seen this
Oh,
coming?
When Linda posted about her announcement, she was like, look at all that we've done. We've done such a great job. We made it the everything app. We've like cracked down on safety. We've done free speech. And Jay Peters on our team just looked at all these things and he's like, actually, like under Yaccarino, none of this stuff has happened.
Yeah. I remember using the X app as an everything app, just yesterday. I ordered a pizza. No, that's not true.
She lasted longer than I thought she would, though, because I thought, like, when she was announced that I was like, oh, this will be over in 6 months, and she lasted 4 times that.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
Yeah. Might be me, but I don't know if I could have lasted as long as she did,
Yeah.
given
So
the circumstances. So
we think she just got fed up, right?
I think she just was like,
That's the thinking.
I think she was just like, yeah, I didn't sign up for this.
See, I don't, it takes a certain type of person to volunteer to work for Elon. And she was
Yeah.
pretty gung-ho about it up front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
she was. She was.
And so I don't know. I'm very, very interested in finding out what happened there.
Do you
Mhm.
think she knew about the whole like Trump turn, that he was going to do Doge and all of that? Do you think she just finally went like, I didn't sign up for I signed up for stuff. I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah.
And she's just finally been like, okay, and I'm done.
I mean, she spent a lot of her time, I think so, right? Because she spent a lot of her time defending him. And her job when she came on was advertisers are fleeing this platform because everyone hates Elon and he keeps saying inappropriate stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and she, didn't quite get that. Like there are some, the platform still exists.
it's there.
But the other thing is that when she signed on, X was an independent company. It is now owned by XAI, which means there are even, she was always the CEO and it always felt like it was in air quotes, like
Yeah.
Elon owns the place, Elon runs the place. X also announced a new head of product recently. They put Nikita Beer in charge. He was the co-founder of TBH, which Meta bought, and I believe then shut down. And also Gas, which was acquired by Discord. The apps, as I'm told, I believe are for teens, and so I did not use
Oh.
them.
Mm,
I
you know
don't-
what? That's just being age appropriate.
The
Shouldn't
teens
be
are-
on the teen apps.
Teens are
Yeah.
using gas.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that.
These
I
are
can't
words.
prove that. So X, it's got some. They didn't announce a new CEO. They didn't say anything. They're just like, Linda's gone. Okay. And then in the background of all of this, Grok. I kind of, there's something about X as a platform right now where sometimes there are rainy days and thunderstorms and you're just like, oh yeah, the chatbot that lives in the platform is being racist and calling itself Mecha Hitler today. And you're just like, well, where does it it does that sometimes. And it's like, this is the point we have gotten to with X, where we're like, number one, it still functions. Number two, yeah, you can just ignore Mecha Hitler. Like, they'll deal with it. It's fine.
Mecha Hitler.
Like,
Do you remember when we used to call, like, back when it was Twitter, we used to just be like, this is the main character of the day.
yes.
And now Grok is the main character of the day as Mecha Hitler. But
Don't love that.
no.
The Mecha Hitler thing is perhaps the more the lighter part of it. It was being like actively super anti-Semitic and racist and offensive, and just like going off for a couple days, and eventually they like shut it down. This all ends with Elon hosting a live stream to announce Grok 4, which may or may not be live at this point. It wasn't last I checked. It's I don't really get it. Like, X as a product is, I think, bewildering to me at this point. Like, I think the grand proclamations of doom, I guess I would argue, did not quite.
No, there's like a ton of people who are still on X. Surprisingly, like the 10 seconds I'm on there every so often, I'm like, oh,
Right.
so-and-so I used to follow, they still be posting up a storm on X. So that's, it's still there. People are still, have not left, which is wild to me, but yeah.
And like, I shouldn't give them too much credit for this, but like Elon fired most of the company. And like, it's still, the website is still online most of the time, right? Like, okay. So they've got that. Is it succeeding? Not right. The thing it has succeeded at is creating a whole bunch of competing platforms, including Threads, which there was data out this week that it is like nearly catching up.
That's wild.
On mobile app usage.
Wow.
That's
right?
absolutely wild considering how awful Threads is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I go to Threads for very specific things, which is K-pop, because apparently my algo there is just like, all you care about is K-pop. And I'm like,
Are they wrong?
they are only partly wrong. I care about other things, but I'm just like, that's my entire feed on Threads is just K-pop but like K-pop news from 5 days ago. So not.
Yeah.
That's what you go to Threads for. Something
That's what you go to
happened
Threads for,
5
like,
days ago. I
everybody.
wonder how much of it is Meta just aggressively pushing people to Threads, which has been
Oh, it's so aggressive in Instagram now.
yeah,
Like,
scrolling through, you're like, oh, do I want to look at a Threads post from 3 days ago? I think I'm good.
Threads also very aggressively pushes the like For You page or whatever it's called, the
Yeah.
Discover page. Whereas, other platforms are nice and give you options or let you choose your following, right? I go on Threads and I get friggin' sucked in because it is just like showing me all this stuff from people who I don't follow. And it's like, this is why Facebook succeeds.
Yeah.
I'm not actually saying it's bad necessarily, but like, yeah, I see why it's doing okay. And somehow they've got enough stuff.
they don't have a Mecha Hitler, though.
Well, you know what? Zuck just spent a lot of money on.
Okay, we might have a Mecha Hitler down the line, but
Oh.
eh.
How close are we to Mecha Hitler? That's a new metric for
Oh, God.
for your AI.
That's dystopian.
Yeah.
And on that happy note.
On that happy note, it's time for a break. When we get back, we are rebranding the lightning round. Get ready for it. All right, we're back. So I have a problem. I have a problem with the lightning round. I don't know if you guys know this.
Oh my
But
goodness.
Neeli and David, every week, they've got the lightning round. They've got a whole bunch of stories. And the point of the lightning round is you get through all this. It's fast-paced lightning round, right?
Mhm.
What happens?
Goes long.
Yeah.
Goes long. They don't get to all the stories. They got to cut them. That ends today, okay? We are changing.
era.
The lightning round is done. We are changing it. It is henceforth known as the thunder round.
Oh my God.
Let's do this. Okay, here's what's going to happen. Unlike the lightning round, the thunder round gets stuff done. It keeps moving. We've got 15 stories. 15 minutes. And I have given Eric Gomez, our producer, the power of lightning. Oh, thunder? That one's wrong.
Well,
that one's wrong.
you have one, you have the other.
Yeah, okay. He's got the power of something to
Thor.
make us move along. And he is going to come in with some rolling, some crackling thunder, some crashes to keep us moving if we go a little too slow.
I love
I
this.
love
Okay.
this.
So ready.
I'm ready. I'm going to jump a million times.
All right, people. Let's do this. The first ever thunder round. We're going to get through all of them. You ready?
I believe in
Okay.
us.
Story number 1. I really want to talk about this. Allison, you covered Project Indigo, which is this Adobe camera app for the iPhone, right?
Yes, it's kind of a beta product. It is a camera app. It's made by Mark Lavoie, who some people may remember as like the brains behind the Pixel camera. The idea is it's computational photography, but it doesn't make your photos look like HDR hell, is how I would say the sales pitch is. And I played with it. It turned my phone into a piece of fire. I don't know. It's very beta. It heats your phone up.
Oh my God.
Not a great like everyday camera. Amazing photos. Like
The
loved
photos
it
in
so
your
much.
story were so
Yeah.
like they had such intense mood and like a
Like,
vibe.
Contrast.
Like
I-
beautiful.
I've like really, this doesn't happen that often. The entire Verge newsroom stopped and was like, what are these photos?
Yeah.
From a
Photos.
phone?
Yeah.
I have not seen phone photos like this in years.
Yeah.
Mark Lavoie really feels like the guy who Google let get away. Like,
Yeah, I know.
What did they do here?
And he's like a fellow at Adobe. What a gig.
Yeah.
You just hang out, make a camera app.
Making the camera app we all want.
Yeah.
So was this like, were these like specially curated, the photos that you posted? Or, because like they were incredible.
the thunder.
Okay. So next story, we're going to move along here. IKEA announced a lamp with a speaker in it, and it looks cool, and it connects to Spotify. The main thing is they dropped Sonos.
This is the correct move to drop Sonos.
You like this?
Sonos has had a year. The app has
yeah.
not been
Yeah.
great. And I think, if you think about what most people use, they're using Bluetooth and they're using Spotify. So just go where their people are. Make it cheaper. You don't have to have like a whole licensing issue with Sonos for this. And Sonos is like, it's are they doing great,
So,
Bob?
Sonos and IKEA always felt like a weird pairing to me, right?
Mhm.
It is the highest end of connected speakers and the like lowest end of stuff for your home. I mean, I love IKEA. That was not a knock.
Oh, yeah.
And IKEA
I'm-
is more expensive than they used to be.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Well,
it's just no, but that is like a weird dichotomy. And like IKEA's foray into the smart home has always been about simplicity and keeping things affordable. So
Yeah.
The speaker's cute.
the speaker is
Not
cute.
bad. Or that's not the lamp. There's a lamp.
I would buy a bunch of these.
Wow.
I want
Okay,
some nap
okay.
bats. I was just shaking out.
The Thunder God does not appreciate speaker talk.
V, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, so Perplexity has launched a Comet web browser. So a web browser for Perplexity, which is the AI search engine, which fashions itself as... I always get confused by the pitch for Perplexity over the other ones, but the whole idea is that it's researching things in real time, so you're supposed to be able to trust the results more. Sure, it has a web browser now.
Love it.
Have either of you used either like Gemini and Chrome or Dia yet?
I haven't used Dia, but I'm a longtime user of Arc and the original
Yes.
Arc.
Yeah.
thing, so like I get the whole AI browser thing.
Yeah.
So so AI browser's super hot right now. They also, OpenAI is supposed to be launching an AI web browser too. My whole thing is like, they don't work yet, right? Like I tried Dia and I'm like, it's just a permanent chatbot tab. Like why? What am
Oh.
I'm like pretty on board with like ChatGPT being useful,
Mhm.
but it's like, you just added a tab to my browser.
Yeah.
I get it. They're trying to beat Google. They're trying to replace it. And to do that,
It's
you got to
just
be the
like-
default.
A different version of AI overviews, I feel, which is,
It's more aggressive.
it's much more aggressive. Like,
AI mode. Yeah.
I will say, like, sometimes in the Arc browser, when I have like a thing that I'm looking up and it gives me the summaries, I'm like, oh, it's helpful to have summaries, but now I gotta look it up and make sure it's like
Yeah. So you
accurate.
got to check
So,
its work.
Yeah, it's work.
AI mode is like, what if you could talk to and interact with a page of search results? I'm like, I don't think I've ever wanted that.
No, that's what I asked for. But
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
Okay.
Sorry. I brain froze. But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
AI browsers, they're not.
Not sure we like it.
Yeah.
Not sure we like it.
Allison, all right. E-ink.
Okay. E-ink is on a laptop for some reason. So there's a laptop, but instead of a touchpad, it has an e-ink e-reader for AI apps.
I hate this.
Why?
hate everything about this.
This felt like they were just trying to find an angle on their own. Like they were like, we could put in an e-reader on the trackpad.
Yeah.
And they're like, nobody's going to buy that. What if we put AI next to it?
Yeah.
I don't. Why would you want to read on your trackpad?
No, I don't.
There's no reason for that. And then also just, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to quote Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. Whole ass one thing. Don't half-ass two things. This is two half-ass thing. I have an e-reader. I have a laptop touchpad, and AI is in everything. But I don't want to read on my touchpad where my fingies go. So
No, because sometimes you're eating.
Sometimes you're eating.
And then you're going to get it all smeary.
And then it's going to be on your AI e-reader in the middle.
Just get a folding phone.
I don't know
Then
if I'll
you
go
have
that
a bunch
far.
of screens.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but yeah.
Get a $2,000 folding phone.
Whole ass one touchpad. That's my spiel.
There you go.
I support that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next thing. Did you guys see, or can I say, did you not see Lorde's new CD, which is transparent?
It's transparent.
She made it transparent. And
See it.
okay, so it turns out when you put a CD into certain CD players, I mean, I guess they all use infrared to read it, but it seems like some of them maybe also use infrared to register that a CD is really going in, and they can't see it, and so they just eject the CD and they won't put it in. Andrew Marino on our team went out, and these things are sold out, but he managed to find one and he tested it in a bunch of CD players. So you have like a clamshell one where you just like put it in and close it. Or I guess maybe like a disc tray.
Yeah.
That will work. But otherwise, these Lorde fans are really upset because
You know what? Fair. They paid for this music and now they can't listen to it on their car CD, which, like that's one reason to buy a CD is if you have a car that still has those things. So I totally get what they're saying. At the same time, it is kind of cool to have a transparent CD.
Okay, I'm moving on with this one because I don't want to get crashed. A federal appeals court struck down the FTC's click to cancel rule this week. This is
bullshit. That's what this is.
This is the thing that was going to let you cancel your gym membership.
This was
This should be a bipartisan issue if there was ever a bipartisan issue.
Why did they look? Does anyone like it when you're trying to cancel a thing and they're like, actually, you have to call an email? Nobody likes this. Nobody wants this. This was a bipartisan.
It's devastating. This is absolutely devastating.
We should have gotten
bullshit.
this done. Who's responsible?
Yeah, who is responsible for this? Why would they, I'm sorry.
They said the FTC did a bad job making the rule. So it's not like they can still do it. It's just like, will the new FTC do it?
Great.
No, they won't because I don't know. Maybe I'm being mean, but I feel like it's capitalist to be just like, no, make it hard for them to cancel because then we can get revenue. Because these people can't remember to cancel their subscriptions.
I tried to cancel pet insurance once, and it was the most... I just gave up and paid another year for pet insurance.
Oh my God, no. Yeah. That's a lot of... No.
You had to write a handwritten note, mail it,
insane.
Call their CEO.
It's good news for your pet, I suppose.
Yeah, he was all right.
Oh,
that was...
Oh my God.
He was dead. Thunder crash.
Okay. V, keep us moving.
Okay, so Nothing's first true flagship phone plays it a little safe because, Nothing. We know Nothing for... Oh, God, you got to stop me with the Nothing puns, but Nothing has something going for it, which is that it's known for its forward design, and this is not cool.
Yeah, it has... So instead of all the lights on the back, that was the glyph thing, which looked cool, wasn't super useful. I didn't find it super useful. It has a little tiny programmable LED thing, sort of like the Asus ROG phones, where it can be a little icon. You can be an emoji icon for a certain app. It makes more sense to me because you could assign different notifications to different glyph patterns, and I would be looking at it I can't remember if that thing lights up. Do I have a phone call or what? This is a more clear, like you could put a little poop emoji when the phone rings or something. I don't know. People were hating on it. I don't know. I think it's a good
It's
idea.
because they demoed it with like a spin the bottle
that's
thing.
dumb.
Which, okay, but hear me out. I'm actually super in favor. It's the carrot sensor. They're just they're like, no one is going to use this. Here's your carrot.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
Maybe they should have just put a little more whimsy into it. I don't know. I think people have expectations. So this didn't meet their expectations of what they wanted from nothing.
I guess.
Well,
They wanted something from nothing.
they wanted something from nothing.
That doesn't work.
We deserve this one.
that one, the crash played us out.
Yeah.
The government is still suing Apple for antitrust.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. No.
I'm very pleased to see that's still happening.
Apple tried to get it dismissed, and the judge was just like, yeah, seems like they've got a case. Like they didn't like rule on it in any meaningful manner. They're just like,
Apple is so litigious, right? Like they do this all the time with everything.
I mean, this is the government was like, hey, Apple, like your entire business model is anti-competitive, and Apple's like, that's not true, and this judge is like, let us at least find out.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's good.
That's
It's good. I want to see this play out. I think like there are huge repercussions potentially. So it'll at least be a fun time in court.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. My turn. So adding calendar events with a screenshot is AI at its finest. Hard agree.
Oh, yeah.
As someone also testing the dev
So
beta of iOS 26.
It actually works
Hard
now.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the most, it does the thing that you want it to do. It's kind of like, oh.
Yeah. So on iOS 26, you take a screenshot of something and you'll get a little prompt. It'll say add to calendar, and it'll use generative AI and it already did a version of this, but it wasn't, it was pretty like find the date, use the email subject line as the calendar thing. And that was kind of the end of it. I will say Gemini does this a lot better. Like we'll add multiple events. We'll ask you follow-up questions like, did you want to add this or this? And it understood time zones.
Oh, that's a
pretty
big
good.
one.
Really
That's a
good.
big one.
I think it's a win all around. I'm like, free us from the tyranny of calendar apps.
Yeah.
That's what I say about that.
Sold.
Good.
Yeah.
Absolutely sold on it.
Hey, we beat the clock.
Yeah.
Wow. This is
Don't push it.
Now I'm braced for thunder.
Should I take the next one? Oh.
No,
Okay.
they just want to keep us on our toes now.
We've made Eric too powerful. Apple's second generation Vision Pro might launch this year, according to Bloomberg. Supposedly, they're just gonna do the pretty much exact same thing. Put an M4 chip in it. I mean, the Vision Pro is a Mac on your face, and it's rough when it's $3,500 and an M1.
And it's a heavy Mac on your face.
So this is the other thing. Supposedly they're gonna do some sort of new strap, which like I feel like everybody I've talked to about the Vision Pro is like, you gotta get a different strap.
You gotta get so there's two straps now. There's the solo knit and there's the one that looks like a harness. I forget the name of it right now, but I keep switching between both of them. Neither of them help. It's just I can't. I'm not calling the people who believe that like you can wear it for hours liars, but I have never been able to do that. So
okay, I'm gonna keep us quick on this next one too as we move forward. NVIDIA briefly became the first $4 trillion company this week. The thing that's interesting here, Apple was the first to $1 trillion. Apple was the first American company to $2 trillion. Apple was the first company to $3 trillion. NVIDIA wins with $4 trillion. It's AI,
GPUs.
right? It's
the AI.
It's AI.
The
AI chips.
The chips need to.
The times have changed. Apple is merely a $3 trillion company.
I'm ashamed.
What
So
it'll ever
our thoughts are with Tim on these
It's,
trying times.
These trying times.
Um,
He has his biceps to keep him company. It's
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. Do you know Cameo still around?
fine. I did not know it was still around.
Cameo not only is still around, they launched a new app this week for tracking your friends' birthdays. It's a calendar, but it only does birthdays.
Do we need
That's
that?
dumb.
And Cameo is doing it.
Why?
I don't
Why?
know. Oh, I guess is the idea that then you're like,
Oh, it's my
I should-
friend's birthday.
yeah,
I should
should
get
buy
them
them
a
a cameo.
cameo from that random select. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's kind of genius, but
I-
also no.
No.
I will say,
No.
and like apologies to, I don't know, all of my friends, everybody I know. I only remember birthdays because they're in my calendar.
Oh, yeah.
If they're not in there, I don't know that you were born.
I'm an astrology nerd. Like, it's how I cope with everything now. So I just find out people's signs and then know the general time of when their birthday is.
You just get a sense.
I just get a sense. They're like, oh, you're a Gemini? Oh, your birthday passed. Like, that kind of thing.
That was true. That was right.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
It's good. It's working.
It's good stuff. So Apple just added more frost to its liquid glass design. That's because it's liquid ass. I'm not a fan.
Oh, she said it.
Wow.
I'm not a fan.
Here's my hot take. I think it's kind of okay. Like, I've kind of gotten used to it.
No. I have bad eyes. Like, I have truly awful eyes, and anyone who's ever read my smart glasses review or anything that has to do with vision know that my eyes are garbage. These are garbage eyeballs that my parents gave me. I legitimately had a really hard time reading.
Yeah.
And obviously it's dev beta. It'll be different when it comes out. I'm pro more frost, but then it's not glass.
Yeah. No, it's frosted glass.
It's frosted glass. I had to put the little outlines on all the buttons, which make the whole transparency thing not... Because, like, if you go into the messages, you can't see any of the buttons.
Yeah.
And then there's just, like, a slap. It's terrible. I don't like it.
You guys know what? I watched Minority Report for the first time, literally for the first time this last week.
Oh, wow.
And they're putting all the glass in front of glass. I was like, there it is.
We made it.
We did it. The future is here.
And it seemed like everything worked out nicely in Minority.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Cool.
Technology is really good.
Good to hear.
Fine.
All right, we've got 2 more.
2 more.
We're going to make this.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nintendo is ending its cost-saving Switch game vouchers. I didn't know there were Switch game vouchers. How do I get one? And I can't
It's too late.
anymore.
Okay, so I guess, V, did you ever use these?
I did not.
These were like, people love these things. They were such a bargain. It was this weird thing where Nintendo was like, if you subscribe to Switch Online, so you have to be a member, but for $100, they'll sell you a voucher and you can use it to get 2 full-price Nintendo games. And so you could lock in the price of a game at $50, basically, which if you're going to buy 2 Nintendo games, it's like, yeah, great. You're saving like $20 or more, particularly as you're like, these things are creeping up in price. This is, they're like, Tears of the Kingdom or whatever the next Zelda is going to be $90. Okay, last story. We made it.
We're doing it.
HBO Max is officially, drumroll, HBO Max again.
Thank God.
The world is restored. We're safe.
I actually...
Not from Eric. Not from Thunder.
Not from Thunder.
But we did it, everyone.
We did it. We got
made
here
it
15
through
stories.
all of the stories. I'm going to declare this first version of the Thunder round mostly successful. We've made it. We made it.
We
I feel
set
good.
out. We accomplished what we set out to do.
Exactly.
There you go.
There was thunder.
There was perhaps a lot of thunder.
There's some aggressive thunder happening. I feel like Eric maybe got a little thunder happy.
That's it for the Thunder Round, and that's it for the Vergecast. We'd love to hear your questions and feedback. Do you like the Thunder Round? I hope so. Email us at vergecast@theverge.com or give us a call, 866-VERGE11. The Vergecast is a production of The Verge and Vox Media Podcast Network. Our show is produced by Eric Gomez, Brandon Kiefer, Andrew Marino, and Travis Larchuk. See you next week.